Have you ever stopped to consider how our mind influences our actions and ultimately our life's outcomes? The mind, in all its complexity, is the chief of our mental states. It's the originator, the controller, the kingpin. It's the mind that determines whether our actions produce suffering or happiness. Consider this. A person with an impure mind who speaks or acts will have suffering trailing him like the wheel that follows the foot of the ox. On the other hand, if a person with a pure state of mind speaks or acts, happiness becomes his constant companion, like a never-departing shadow. Imagine a scenario where someone wrongs you, they abuse you, overpower you, rob you. If you harbor thoughts of revenge and hatred, these feelings will only amplify. Conversely, if you choose not to harbor such thoughts, you still your hatred. The truth is, hatred never gets appeased by hatred. It's only through non-hatred that hatred can be appeased. This, my friend, is an eternal law. Think about the impermanence of life. Some people live their lives oblivious to the fact that we all must die one day. However, those who are aware of this inevitable end, they are the ones who settle their quarrels. Picture a man who lives for the pursuit of pleasures, uncontrolled in his senses, immoderate in eating, indolent and dissipated. Just like a storm can easily throw down a weak tree, Mara, the tempter in Buddhism, can overpower such a man. However, a man who lives meditating on the impurities, who is controlled in his senses, moderate in eating, and filled with faith and earnest effort, is like a rocky mountain that a storm can never prevail against. Now, envision a person devoid of self-control and truthfulness, donning the monk's yellow robe. Such a person is not worthy of the robe, but a person purged of depravity, well established in virtues, filled with self-control and truthfulness, they indeed are worthy of the yellow robe. There are those who mistake the unessential to be essential and the essential to be unessential. Dwelling in wrong thoughts, they never arrive at the essential. However, those who know what is truly essential, dwelling in right thoughts, they do arrive at the essential. A well-developed mind is like a well-thatched house that rain cannot break through, whereas passion can easily penetrate an undeveloped mind, just like rain breaks through an ill-thatched house. The evildoer grieves here and hereafter. They suffer in both the worlds, tormented by the thought, evil have I done. But the doer of good rejoices in both the worlds. The thought, good have I done, delights them, and they delight even more when gone to realms of bliss. A person who recites the sacred texts but does not act accordingly is like a cowherd who only counts the cows of others. They do not partake in the blessings of the holy life, but he who puts the teachings into practice, even if he recites little of the sacred texts, forsaking lust, hatred and delusion, with true wisdom and emancipated mind, clinging to nothing of this or any other world, they truly partake in the blessings of the holy life. In summary, the mind is the originator of our actions. It's the mind that determines whether our actions result in suffering or happiness. Hatred is never appeased by hatred, only by non-hatred. Awareness of life's impermanence leads to the settling of quarrels. Self-control, truthfulness, and understanding what is truly essential are keys to a virtuous life. And finally, it's not about reciting the sacred texts, but about putting the teachings into practice. So remember, our mind, in all its complexity, is the chief of our mental states. It's the mind that influences our actions, and ultimately our life's outcomes.